Good morning, SKN. I'm Andre Cunningham.
And I am Cortensia Carty, and it is terrific Tuesday. So I'm going to begin this morning with a quote, and Miss Lack always put these up, so I got them. I got it from in front of her yard on her board, and the quote said, "Lead or follow, or if you don't want to do neither of the two, get out of the way." So I'm admonishing those of you to either lead, follow, if not, scoot.
Well, I don't have a thought for this morning as yet, but I have a scenario. Which is correct. Either bring the back here or carry the back.
We believe that.
No, this is going to be a challenge. Let's get to business, folks. Here's what's happening on the local scene. This one comes to us from SKNIS. Several ministers of government got a first-hand experience of some of the challenges the blind and partially sighted face when navigating their way. Experience my pain. The activity on Friday, May 19, 2023, saw ministers the Honorable Samuel Duggins and Marsha Henderson, as well as Minister of State, the Honorable Iselin Phillip, who hold responsibility for aging and disabilities, blindfolded and walking from the West Bastille bus terminal to several points along the Bastille Bay Road. Minister Duggins described his experience having walked to Rand's supermarket, saying, and quote, "It was very interesting because with the lack of ability to see, your sense of smell, your hearing seems to be a little better, and so I picked up directions from persons' voices as I was walking. Of course, the concern was always tripping over the sidewalk, but outside of that, it was a pretty interesting experience," end quote. Honorable Henderson said that she was humbled after her walk to the National Museum.
Indeed. And until you do it, you really don't understand what those persons who are partially or who cannot see at all goes through. I did it, and you'll have to wait until Friday to find out the experience, though, because they're going to be right here at Good Morning SKN.
It's quite an experience.
Indeed. As we continue, and now this story comes from SKN Vibes. With the Republic of China, Taiwan still seeking to find a seat at the global stage, the United States of America continue to champion the cause for its ally, as does St. Kitts and Nevis. The United Nations is calling for Taiwan to be included in the 76th World Health Assembly, the WHO, which recognizes and brings together 194 independent states that fall under the World Health Organization, the WHO. This year's meeting runs from May the 21st to 31st in Geneva, and the United Nations Foundation reminded that the meeting would see the World Health Organization celebrating its 75th anniversary, where there would be renewed calls for the Assembly to be strengthened to meet the growing challenges facing the world. There has been a concerted effort in recent years to push for the Asian nation to be included in decision-making because of its growing expertise in the areas of health technology and its assistance to human development in its ally countries. Taiwan and St. Kitts and Nevis will celebrate 40 years of partnership, with the former assisting with the overall development of the Federation. So 40 years of independence and 40 years of being allies. Yeah.
Taiwan.
Thank you, Taiwan.
Congratulations to both island states. And still on the local scene, this one comes to us by Win Media SKN. Several agricultural ambassadors in Nevis will be vying for the title of Miss Earth Princess during a pageant slated for the final Saturday in May. The inaugural hosting of the Miss Earth Princess pageant will be held under the theme Climate Smart: Agriculture ensures food security and a resilient economy. The global phenomena as it relates to climate change continue to have significant effects on food supply. The ambassadors are expected to share resilient and adaptable measures with the public during their onstage performances and presentations. The pageant is slated for Saturday, May 27, 2023 at the Nevis Cultural Complex beginning at 7 p.m. Tickets are being sold at the schools, the Culturama Secretariat, and also by the New River Farmers Cooperative. Pre-sold tickets for children 5 to 16 years are at $15, while those for adults at $25. However, on the show night, the fees at the gate will increase by $5.
Oh, so get your tickets early. Indeed, early bird really catches the most worms, huh?
And Nevis is noted to put on some awesome festivities.
Okay.
This one is going to be fun.
Oh, are you going?
Probably.
Okay, we'll see. Now for the weather forecast, scattered showers with a high of 82 and a low of 71 degrees Fahrenheit. Take a look at your weather and stay tuned for regional and international news. Up next, here at Good Morning SKN.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom. It.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Now for our regional news segment, it comes from Loop Caribbean. Russian airline Aeroflot will soon begin direct flights from Moscow to Cuba. Sergei Vladimirovich Alexandrovsky, General Director of Aeroflot Airlines, announced direct flights between the capital Moscow and the Cuban tourist center of Veradero, for which plane tickets will be on sale over the next few days. The announcement came as the government of Cuba and Russia agreed to boost the development of tourism when representatives of both countries and when representatives of both countries signed cooperation accords during a bilateral meeting in Havana. The signing took place as part of the 20th session of the Intergovernmental Commission for Economic, Commercial, and Scientific Technical Collaboration. Cuban Prime Minister Manuel Marrero and Russian Government Vice President Dmitry N. Kryzhenko presided over the meeting, in which Cuban Tourism Minister Juan Carlos Garcia briefed participants on the opportunities of Cuba as a tourist destination, a sun and beach site with patrimonial, cultural, and natural values.
Interesting development here.
And
I'm happy to see Cuba now joining the rest of the region when it comes down to tourism.
But you know, they always had a good tourism product, but they just needed a push. Yeah.
Right. And here's what's happening on the international scene. This one comes to us from The Guardian. A first-time author has been awarded a record 4 prizes and a total of $85,000 at the New South Wales Premier's Literary Awards, a recognition she described as overwhelming and significantly shocking, given she never set out to publish her memoir in the first place. Gandanji Wankanja writer Deborah Dank's book, We Come With This, Plays won the prize for Major Book of the Year at the NSW State Library on Monday night and was also named winner of the Indigenous Writers Prize, the prize for non-fiction and the award for new writing. The judges praised Dank's book for culturally vigorous, spiritual, and psychological nourishment. The author demonstrated a powerful path forward from colonial trauma towards a space of mutual respect and self-determining futures, they said. Congrats to her.
Yes, indeed.
Awesome.
A nice prize too.
Yep.
Yeah, indeed.
Well, there you have it, folks. That's the latest for local, regional, and international news. Stay with us. Much more when we return on GMSKN.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
morning. This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Welcome back to a Good Morning SKN. Last week, we spoke to Etsu Bradshaw Keynes, the Executive Director of the St. Christopher National Trust for International Museum Day, observed on May 18th. Now, for this segment, Andre and I will be learning a bit about some museums around the Caribbean. Andre, are you ready to learn more about the museums?
This one, of course, love me some history.
I know they have the Big Bob Marley Museum in Jamaica. That's the only one I know about.
And that's
Jamaica,
pretty close to where I'm from, 9 Miles, St. Anne. Yep.
Oh, nice.
Have you been? I've been up there several times.
Okay,
and it's a myth, guys, for those persons who think that the body is there, it's embalmed and all of that. That's a myth. All we have is his clothes, his guitar, and just fun artifacts that he used to carry around with him.
Okay, fair enough.
Yep. But persons believe his body is cremated and all, well, not cremated, preserved, embalmed, and you could go and view his body. No, it's not true.
The experts said it.
Telling you firsthand.
Yeah. But even here in St. Kitts, though, as I said, we don't frequent the museums. I walk through there, but I don't go in there. Or sometimes when the doors open, I'll glance in and I'll see the display of the clown suit or whatever. But I've never gone into the museum per se, which is bad because we need to support our own, and we need to ensure.
And as Ms. Bradshaw would have said, they have some valuable pieces in there, so you might be surprised some of the stuff you encounter when you pay a visit there. So
yeah, go out, support the museum.
Yep.
Indeed.
The National Museum of Fine Arts in Havana.
Wow, I thought that was Paris, the building.
Yeah, it's a beautiful.
Yeah, it
I
looks
love
like
the architecture.
Wow.
That looks like a European building for real.
Yeah, but you know, the Europeans have influence all over the Caribbean.
All over the Caribbean.
So the architecture would have been left behind. But that literally, I thought that was Paris.
Right. I can't believe that's in Cuba.
Wow.
Wow.
So the National Museum of Fine Arts of Havana, that's the Museo Nacional de Bellas Artes de La Habana, is a museum of fine arts that exhibits Cuban art collections from colonial times up to the contemporary generations. So this is definitely a trip to Cuba, man.
Definitely. It looks fascinating.
It does.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll be able to find out much more about Cuba.
Yes, and what's in there. The building alone makes you want to go inside.
Right.
Wow.
National Museum of Fine Arts, Havana.
Yeah.
Beautiful architecture.
Beautiful. Ooh.
Wow.
You know, I often wonder how they manage to keep those things so pristine and clean. The last movie I watched was Shazam, and well, you know, in the US and stuff, people go to the museum a lot. So the museum was full, but it amazes me how everything in the museums are always clean
and well kept.
Yes.
I mean, shout out to the staff.
Indeed.
Yep. Fantastic.
That's lovely.
I wonder what's in those glass. Preserving in those glass. Next up, we have La Savandes Esclaves Martin. Savandes Esclaves offers a wonderful journey back in time. The place invites us into an ancient Amerindian village, which is traditional houses typical of Martinique. Through a park of 3 hectares, you will discover a reconstruction of the authentic Creole hut.
Okay.
Wow.
So Amerindians are the native people.
Right.
That's nice.
I think they would have preserved some of those techniques in the building and all of that.
Basket making in Dominica, you see the Caribs, they still do that. You see? Look at that.
Oh wow. Awesome.
Look, I wonder what is that they were baking back in the day. Maybe cassava cakes or cassava bread.
But look at the architecture of the roof. Like, I mean, I guess hurricanes weren't prevalent then.
Well, we're not quite sure. But I guess the rain will run all the way down, and maybe they could have collected that water on the side. As you know, so some of us do collect rainwaters. And look, we spoke about the baskets in the roof. This is nice. This is nice.
Awesome. Look at that clay pot.
Yep.
You'll be surprised.
Sturdy.
You'll be surprised some of the things you find on the inside.
Yeah. Wow. No, so the Bob Marley Museum at Jamaica. The body's not there, guys. The body's not there.
Marley Museum
Yep.
in Jamaica.
Indeed.
And this house is his actual home where he
Okay.
used to live.
Oh, so they donated the house.
Well, they turned it into a museum. His family decided to turn it into
Okay,
a museum. But
nice.
this is actually his home where he lived up until his death.
Okay, nice.
It's a fascinating story behind, the whole history of how his first music, his first record, all of that is all documented in there, and you'll get to play. And now we have our boombox and so-called our own style of music, but when you go to the Bob Marley Museum, it shows you those old-time records.
So you have a gramophone, it has a record player.
Right, so you put on those so-called large CDs.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
the records.
Right,
the
you
disc.
lift the pin and you put it down on it and you hear it. That's sweet
nice.
reggae music. It's awesome.
Wow, so they preserve that. That's good.
Yep.
So, housed in the former home and recording studio of Bob Marley, this museum is among the most popular attractions in all of Jamaica. Here you can see Marley's gold and platinum records, articles of his clothing, and his favorite guitar still resting beside his bed. So, Andre, you had all the cues.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. Been there, done that. It's an
Show
awesome
off.
experience.
Show off.
Trust me,
Nice.
it's a definite to do. Anyone
In
visiting
Jamaica?
Jamaica.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
Awesome experience. Look at that. It's a landmark. That statue.
And I like how they preserve this house. That house looks nice.
Yep.
Is yellow the favorite color of persons in Jamaica to paint their house? Because I find that's a favorite color.
Well, Rastafarians, even here in St. Kitts, I think it's not just a region, but an international thing where
Okay.
Rastafarians believe in the heights green and gold.
Okay.
So it's a regional, international color.
Okay.
And I think, as Aya would said, it started back in Ghana. And if you look at the Ghanaian flag, it's heights green and gold.
Gold, yes,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So he picked one of the colors.
Awesome museum. Kuhulanda Museum, Curaçao.
Nice.
The Caribbean's most comprehensive museum dedicated to the slave trade and the Middle Passage, Cura-Hollanda, meaning Dutch country yard, in Papiamento, is also the region's largest anthropological collection on Africa. The museum opened in 1999 and is located in a former slave yard and collection facility. Fascinating.
Nice.
What's unique about the Dutch people?
The colors. I like the colors and the architecture.
And they're typically short.
The food.
The Dutch.
I never paid attention
Their
to the height.
stature. Yeah, they're typically short people.
Oh, I never paid attention.
Yep.
Never.
Yeah,
but I like their and their preservation of their items. Wow, a whole ship.
Can you imagine coming to the Caribbean all the way from Africa on one of those?
Yeah, and not free to enjoy the scenery.
Exactly.
You're stuck in the bottom of the boat, chained to somebody else who's probably dead already.
The atrocities we all went through to get here.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I like this. It paints a distinct picture of what it was like. And I can just imagine going to this particular museum in Curaçao. Some of the things that we were preserved. Beautiful.
Yep, and as Marlene said, if you don't know your future, then you're basically you don't know where you're coming from.
Agreed.
So it may be harsh, but still learn. Because I think we all have connections to Africa, whether we want to believe it or not.
We sure do.
Yeah.
We sure do.
A lot of folks that do the ancestry quiz, they always lead somebody back to Africa somehow, regardless of their color or the color of their skin.
I agree. Totally agree.
Yeah, but this is nice though. So Pedro St. James National Historic Site, Cayman Islands. Peter St. James. This is a whole disciple going on here, or two disciples. Known by the locals as Pedro Castle, this great house is the oldest surviving stone structure in the Cayman Islands and is home to many cultural and historical tales. Relive history at the 18th century Great House, explore the rooms and learn about its history of pirate raids, tragedy, triumph, and political reformation. I really wanted to see how pirates behave, but for some reason I don't want to be around.
Why? And you say you like Jack Sparrow?
Yeah, I love Jack Sparrow, but
Well,
I want to be in a real scene with a real pirate to experience. But
do we have pirates still?
I think only up Africa, Somalia.
Well, Somalia.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think some of them are in the sea, still trying to pirate, but they don't make it too far these days because everybody's prepared for them now.
Exactly.
Yeah, although they can come in with the element of surprise, but they're still prepared for them. But this is nice. I love how Andre maintained the colonial structures.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Regardless of what it reminds us of.
And for a small island like Cayman Islands, to see that they have such history when it comes out to museum is fascinating. Because I mean, quote unquote modernization of Cayman, you would have thought they would have gotten rid of those kind of architecture. So it's fascinating to see they still preserve some of these structures. Awesome.
History is good.
Yep.
When I think about those guns.
I know, the canyon.
The cannons.
I mean, I would love to see how they actually
work.
Like I've never seen one of these cannon in action.
Yeah. I'm sure they can still work, but hey, so Museo Castillo Serraes, Puerto Rico. Wow. I'm sure Puerto Rico has more than one though. The Castillo Serraes Museum is a 1930 Spanish rival style home built by the Serraes family of the famous adultery rum. This is yours, isn't it?
It is.
Okay. So I'll give you the next few.
It has a butterfly nursery, the Viagia Cross, and a Japanese garden, an oasis of peace with benches, pagodas, and kai ponds.
Oh, so they got fishes. They got fishes.
This is beautiful.
Oh, look at the entrance.
It reminds me of a castle back in the days.
That's a whole scene for a wedding. Look at the roof.
It's beautiful.
So for those persons who are fascinated with museums, there goes the voice. This is a whole. This can be a whole entrance. Look at the entrance. I'm just seeing the entrance. Here comes the bride. Right? Sorry, museum, but you just look like a whole a place where we can stage a whole event, a wedding per se. Yeah. Look at the inside. Lovely. Beautiful. Look at the floor, Andre. Look. Well, you could probably see your reflection in there.
Right? And it seems like they kept it just as how it was back in the days. Like not much was done to it. Yep.
Look at the rafters.
Right.
Jeez, look at the chandelier. Man.
I can definitely pick out some antique pieces by looking at this picture.
I like the entrance door too.
Awesome.
Okay, you want to take this one since I took yours?
Sure. Bermuda Aquarium, Natural History Museum and Zoo. This one is in Bermuda.
Nice.
Bermuda Aquarium Museum and Zoo, BAMS, as it is called locally, is one of the world's oldest aquariums, founded in 1926. The zoo has more than 300 birds, reptiles, and mammals from islands around the world, while the Bermuda Natural History Museum has interactive exhibits describing Bermuda's geological formations and habitats.
Oh, nice.
So you can tell they preserve the environment.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Look at this. This is gorgeous.
So many birds and wildlife. That's awesome.
I like the colors too.
Yes, it's very tranquil. Yeah. I love it. It's awesome.
You see? You get your aquarium once you go there.
Awesome stuff. This is modern though. It seems modern. It does. I think something like this is in the Bahamas. Under the ocean.
The Atlantis?
Right. To see they have this in a
But
museum.
you know, Atlantis is at a hotel.
Is it?
Yeah.
Whoa.
So the whole aquarium with the big stingray called Poseidon or something like that, because my sister's been there.
Right.
So it's actually in the hotel. But you slide below and you see the whole aquarium situation.
But to see this depicting in a museum, so to speak, you could tell how forward-thinking persons are back then until now.
Yeah,
awesome.
2 in 1.
Who would have thought back in the day someone would have created this?
Yeah.
I mean, from 1926?
1926, yes,
awesome.
and it's the oldest museum. Yeah.
Awesome.
It's good. So Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico. So it's basically the Museum of Art of Puerto Rico.
In English.
Yeah.
Right.
This is nice though.
It is.
Even without seeing the picture clearly. The Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico was inaugurated on July the 1st, 2000 as a legacy for the Puerto Rican people. The mission of the Museo de Arte de Puerto Rico is to enrich the lives of its diverse audience by making accessible and promoting the knowledge, appreciation, and enjoyment of visual arts from Puerto Rico and the world. So this is nice. Yeah.
I think it's because they're influenced by the United States. You think?
I don't think so, because remember they had their history before.
That's true. But what I love about Puerto Rico is the fact that even though they are a part of the US, they still maintain that Caribbean feel, and they don't want, well, they love America.
They love America, yeah. They leave Puerto Rico in droves, trust me.
I know, they believe in their own, and it's awesome to see how much they would have preserved their culture and heritage sites. It's awesome.
Old San Juan, where you actually board the cruise ships. Jeez.
Beautiful.
Beautiful history, the colors, the streets are the same like Cuba.
Right.
My gosh.
Awesome.
Trust me, beautiful. Look at this. It's the floor that gets me.
The floor is so well kept.
Cleanliness of the floor.
Very well kept. I love
it.
And that painting, look at that art.
Yeah.
It's indeed an art museum, right?
Yes. And I'm looking at the white things on the floor, trying to figure out what are those.
Oh, I see. They look like conch shells. I hope not.
They look like baby shoes too. I'm not sure.
But why would they put so many baby shoes of the same color?
You never know.
Same size.
You never know. Maybe they're just trying to, See, they look like shoes.
They do look like shoes.
Yeah,
they look like some baby shoes. Or baby boots.
Yeah, the booties.
Right.
The world we may never know the meaning, but they know the meaning.
Indeed.
Yeah. And that's nice that we went around the world and we went into those museums for free.
I didn't know some of those places even exist. Awesome. Fascinating stuff.
Yeah, I hope our folks in viewing land enjoyed it just as much as we do, and we will recommend that you stay tuned. We will be back in a flash.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Cheers.
An exotic experience.
what up? It's your boy N Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and thank you so much for joining. If you're just joining us, the human immunodeficiency virus (HIV) is one of the most common sexually transmitted diseases in the world. According to the World Health Organization, there are approximately 38.4 million people living with this disease. At the start of this epidemic, contracting HIV was seen as an immediate death sentence. But in recent years, thanks to modern treatment options, HIV patients can live long and healthy lives without transmitting the virus to others. Today, we will be speaking about the HIV response here in the Caribbean region, and joining us for these discussions are Mr. Ivan Cruikshank, Executive Director of Caribbean Vulnerable Communities in Jamaica via Zoom, and Dr. Matthias Offred, National HIV/AIDS Program Coordinator in the Ministry of Health in St. Kitts, here in studio with us.
Welcome, John.
Gentlemen, welcome to GMSKN.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Could join us.
A pleasure indeed.
So, Doctor, can you share with us or give us an overview of the virus and how it affects persons?
Thank you so much for such an opportunity to be here. HIV, as we know, it's an epidemic that is affecting every aspect of human life and also activities, not only regionally but internationally. And we can see that with HIV affecting people, not only just the health-wise aspect but also psychologically, and that is affecting even people around them, families, work activities, as well as social interaction. And with the effect of this virus, it is not a present but continuous effect. So that's why we are looking for a more holistic approach in mitigating the spread of this virus. It takes more than one person to really ensure that this virus is put to check. And that's why not only in the Federation we are combating it, but regionally as well as collectively in the world to really mitigate the effect of this virus as it is affecting families, lives, and also activities for progression.
I have a follow-up question to that, Dr. Wafo. Do you think because persons know that they can live with the virus now and that they have the treatment, that we're still being, let me use a local term, we're still wilding out and we're not taking the necessary precautions to quell the storm that's trying to happen in our federation? I'm going to use us as an example.
The truth about it is, I think people are, some persons act as if the virus is not in existence. After COVID-19 struck and everybody shifted their attention to COVID-19, and now it has greatly, in no effect as it was before. So the attention provided or given to HIV infection and as well as some other viral infection has really reduced. And as such, people are living nonchalantly to the acknowledgement of the virus. And that is also affecting a lot, because if you having the knowledge of the fact that there is treatment is not enough. Right now, we even have pre-exposure prophylaxis, which is PrEP. That also will help, but with that, people are still acting nonchalant, and that's what we are pushing and fighting rigorously to ensure that people are aware of what this is and the effect it could have, despite the fact that there are treatments, despite the fact that there are medication to mitigate the effect of the virus and by bringing the virus down.
And speaking on about pre-exposure prophylaxis, is it readily available here in St. Kitts or in the region on a whole?
Oh yes, in the region it is available in some of the OECA states, but in St. Kitts we have not rolled out PrEP yet. It's something we're working on. The Ministry of Health is working on that. We're organizing, trying to get guidelines and everything necessary and putting all the strategic requirements to ensure that when it's rolled out, it's effective, efficient, and it's available and accessible for all to use.
What is the meaning of the undetectable viral load?
Undetectable viral load is when your viral load has been greatly suppressed, that it's not transmittable. In other words, the viral load is extremely low based on the fact that you are maintaining the regimen that has been provided for you in terms of the medication to bring down the viral load. That's why we expect that people get tested. So if you are tested and you're positive, we can then put you on to treatment, and that can bring down the viral load before it migrates to AIDS. When it becomes your body's predisposed to opportunistic diseases. So the aspect of being tested, getting the HIV detected if you're positive, and then the viral load can be brought down with medication, and then it cannot be transmittable.
Okay. So in other words, you're saying, well, I've seen this slogan international. I'm not sure if it's depicted here in the region, which is equals undetectable means untransmittable.
Yes.
And you're saying that the general public is aware of this.
The general public is aware of it, but the thing about it is that we have to do more by educating the people more, because if we have information relay out like that over and over, it gets stuck on people's head. If we're not doing it as much as we expected to, it dies down. You understand? So I think that if we get that information, people get that information. That's why with the Ministry of Health, we are going to schools, we're going to business places, people are inviting us, churches and all. We actually go there to really educate them and make them understand how this virus can be combated and how we can work together to really drastically reduce the spread of the infection.
Awesome. So just to be clear, for those viewers out there who is watching, you're saying that if someone is tested positive for HIV and they are placed on treatment, after a certain period of time, that viral load becomes depressed.
It becomes
suppressed.
Yes, the
And
viral load decreases.
Once they are being placed on medication.
Yes.
And after a certain period, it becomes undetectable.
Yes.
And then they won't be able to
transmit it to somebody else.
Fascinating.
But the truth is, they have to continue with the treatment. Because if you stop the treatment, and then even despite the fact that you are under treatment, we still advise that you ensure to adhere to prevention measures like the use of condoms and so on and so forth. Because if I am tested positive and I am not conscious about prevention measures and then get interacted or sexual intercourse with somebody else that is positive, that can increase my viral load, can increase the chance of me being exposed. That's why when people say, oh, I am positive, I'm not going to take medication, I just want to spread it, you are putting yourself in higher risk because you're increasing the load in your system and re-exposing yourself to, AIDS.
So Ivan, let's bring you into the conversation. So can you give us an overview of the Caribbean vulnerable community?
John, the Spanish, French, Dutch, and English-speaking Caribbean, and our primary objective is to work with national AIDS programs to ensure that marginalized communities and communities that are often forgotten in our HIV responses are fully brought on board, and the issues that matter to them are integrated in national HIV programs, particularly issues around human rights and service delivery, specifically tailored for key population groups.
Interesting. Ivan, still with you. One of the aim of your company or what you're trying to achieve within the region is a part of regional integration. You have persons, say for example, traveling to Trinidad and Tobago, let's say, and if they're HIV positive, when they go to Trinidad, will they be able to receive the treatment there in Trinidad, even if they're not from there? Because I have read of a scenario, where an HIV person from Guyana left Guyana and went to Trinidad, and they went there for like 3 weeks to represent their company, and they realized that the company asked them to stay another week, and they were HIV positive and their medication was running out. So they went to the health facility there in Trinidad and they were denied the support because Trinidad does not provide antiretrovirals to outside nationals. They only cater for their nationals. So if we collectively want the Caribbean to combat HIV/AIDS, how would a major key player, especially in CARICOM, how would you bring them on board to help other territories?
All right, excellent question, and it's one of the big issues that we face. So one of the things that we have been doing, we have been working as a civil society coalition. We have been working with PANCAP, which is the Pan-Caribbean Partnership on HIV and AIDS, to look at policies that can be rolled out across the region. So what we seek to do is to get agreement among the ministers of health and other health professionals about how they would deliver service to groups as migrant populations. And so it's not unique to Trinidad, it's an issue that we face across the entire Caribbean, where the national health system is designed to accommodate only nationals, and very few have an open policy where anybody can get service. What we have been doing is we have been working with CSOs on the ground to facilitate access through them. So if somebody goes into, let's say, Trinidad from Guyana, we would want to link them to an NGO, an established NGO in country, to facilitate some level of access to some types of services that they would need once they get there. And that would include, in some instances, ensuring that their medication, if that is what is required. It has been a sort of difficult challenge because there are cost implications, and a number of the governments have raised that as a big issue. But we believe that across the Caribbean, access to health should not be denied individuals purely because they might be migrants. And I think we have to find a way throughout the system to ensure people are being cared for in the countries that they end up at any point in time.
I'm actually shocked that we'll treat somebody like that, regardless of their nationality.
Yes, I've had persons here in St. Kitts and those back in Jamaica who have been affected by the disease, and they literally went to Trinidad in particular, and they were denied. They were denied service because their medication would have run out. They would have, I wouldn't say overstayed their time, but they went to the facility, and because they were not Trinidadians, they said there was nothing they could do for them. And as a region, if we're supposed to come together and combat this disease, I don't think you should deny someone because of the disease that they have.
Do we have that problem here in St. Kitts?
Thank you for that, and thanks to my colleague for that light he has shared on that. It's as he indicated, policies have been put to place. That's why when we have meetings, regional meetings, those are things we deliberate on, we talk on, to peruse the policies that various OECS states have and how we can fuse it together to ensure that services provided in the region is standardized. And that is what we're working on, and in partnership with CVC, PANCAP, and as well as in the presence of WHO, we ensure that we see how we can roll out a system that will be efficient and effective for us here in the Caribbean region. For St. Kitts, in light of that question you just indicated and the scenario you just laid out, I want to bring to notice that some of these retroviral medications are being purchased by each individual countries, although we have support from all other organizations, but depends on the population of that country and also the resources they have injected into the program to ensure the availability of this medication. We are really privileged enough in the Caribbean region, in most of the OECS states, that we have these medications readily available. You know, in some other bigger countries, you have to pay for everything. The test, you have to pay from the beginning to the end of it. You have to continue paying for it. So some of these countries are not that buoyant or have not injected much funds to ensure availability of those medications. They are just looking at catering for their citizens. However, as Mr. Ivan has indicated, is something we're working on to ensure we have a standardized system that even if you live here from St. Kitts to Antigua, live here from Antigua to St. Lucia to Trinidad, you can still access care as if you're in your hometown. And that is what we are working on judiciously, and Mr. Ivan, they're working on it to ensure that we achieve that. So in St. Kitts, we don't have that issue. A waiver comes, we ensure that we provide that services available. Because if we don't and the person deteriorates, it's still on us because the person is in our country. And if the person is if the viral load happen to spike and they are predisposed to being intimate with somebody else, and we're trying to ensure that we are proactive, not reactive. And that is why we are putting all that we can put in terms of the resources, in terms of the manpower, to ensure that we mitigate the spread of the virus. And you denying somebody will not really help. So we're working on that really holistically.
That is so good.
In terms of medication, does the medication that's available in St. Kitts is the same medication throughout the entire region? Or is it that each member state in CARICOM has their own different medication that they treat HIV persons with?
Yes, that's a very good question. However, know this, each person, we have a general medication that we use. However, each stage and each viral load depicts what medication should be administered to an individual. So when the viral load is still very high, the medication I present to you will be the same I present to you. If your viral load is high, to somebody in St. Kitts and also somebody in Antigua or in St. Lucia, it will be the same to ensure that we bring down the viral load. When it depletes, then we move you to another generation, another step of medication. And some people do not adhere to the medication as such. If you don't adhere to your medication, your body becomes resistant to that medication. As such, it's not efficient and effective anymore. So we have to move it to another phase of medication that will be efficient and effective. on the person. So it's all depends on the level of the viral load as well as the person's adherence to treatment.
So you're saying if someone has a high viral load and you put them on a particular medication, after the virus is suppressed, then you transfer them onto another medication?
Yes.
So basically St. Kitts have more than one different treatment?
Yes, we have more than one different medication available to ensure that we cater for citizens.
So Ivan, to bring you back in the conversation, not to leave you out too much, tell us about some of the work that you've been doing in the Eastern Caribbean.
So in the Eastern Caribbean, we're working across 66 member states of the OECS. We work alongside the OECS commissions, what is called the 8-step program, which is their HIV program there. And our work is primarily with key populations. So we work with sex workers, we work with transgender individuals, we work with MSM, men, and we work with people living with HIV. Our work is around building the capacity of organizations that are working with these groups, working directly with the populations to provide a number of things. One, legal literacy, so they have a better understanding of the issues that they face. They have a better understanding of violations of human rights. They have a better understanding of the types of services that they should expect from healthcare providers. We also do a number of work around prevention. So one of the areas that we are working on now is to build the capacity of CSOs to support the uptake of PrEP and HIV self-testing, which are two innovations in the HIV prevention response that we really think are game changer. And what we're doing is working with these groups to ensure that the communities have access to, have an understanding of the benefits of these innovations, and we also prepare them to access these services at the facilities when they become available. So I think, as Dr. Ofri mentioned earlier on, St. Kitts and Nevis right now are working on their protocols for PrEP. And so what we're doing is that we are working with communities to develop an understanding of what PrEP is, how it benefits them, how it can be utilized, and who would qualify for PrEP. Those are some of the things that we work with them on the ground. We also do documentation of rights violations. So if somebody's rights are violated, then we have a mechanism in country that they can report it through, and we have a series of support structures that we have in place, right up to legal challenge, that we put in place that can support an individual who has had their rights violated. And the other area that we're working on is social enterprise, where we are helping organizations that work with these groups be able to become self-sustaining and to be able to generate their own income so that they can provide services to the communities that they serve. So those are some of the things that we are working on in the OECS, and these are standardized across the board. We also do training of healthcare workers, law enforcement officers, judicial officers, and we are going to be rolling out shortly a program to do work with faith-based leaders. So those are some of the things that we do across the OECS countries.
Okay, and Ivan, since you're in Jamaica, is the medication readily available in Jamaica? Because I was reading an article where someone who was positive in Jamaica said that instead of getting a bottle of treatment, when he went to the facility, they actually open a bottle and give him like 14 to last him for 2 weeks. Now, if these persons are supposed to take these medication every day, why are they limited to the medication?
All right, so I want to just respond quickly to something you had asked Dr. Ofer earlier on about whether the medication are generalized across the board. There's a standard list of medication that WHO has defined as approved for use for people living with HIV. So yes, there are some that are what they call, they are better medication because they have less side effect, and so they're pushing for the standardization of use across all countries of those particular medications. So that's the first question. Responding directly to what you just asked, the medication is widely available in Jamaica, and across all of the regimens. We do have supplies for all of the regimens. The basic regimen is widely available, and you can get up to 6 months of medication depending on your viral level and your doctor's determination of the need for you to visit him every month. If you don't need to visit your doctor every month, the doctor will give you a prescription for up to a year, and the pharmacy can give you up to 6 months, provided they have sufficient stock in-house. I know, for example, during the COVID period, we did have a shortage of medication that was due to delays with logistics and extra arising from COVID. But we've resolved that issue now. And as I said, you can get up to 3-6 months of medication based on your medical situation and your doctor's determination of your compliance on the medication as well.
Awesome.
So, gentlemen, we are almost out of time, but I want to put these two questions together, and you both can share your input. The importance of getting tested and knowing your status, and words of encouragement to those persons who tested and are positive and are living with the disease.
Thank you so much for this. Go ahead, Mr. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, great. So I think testing is very important, because knowing your status is the starting point for everything else. And as we have been talking about, getting to viral suppression is critical to maintaining your health and well-being. And to take it to a stage where you can't transmit the virus. So that's the first thing. But you can't get there until you know your status.
Yes.
So we have been pushing for people to know their status. Knowing your status helps you to reshape your health behaviors, help you to reshape your lifestyle, and it provides an opportunity for you to not only treat yourself, but also engage in a support structure that helps your mental well-being as well as your physical well-being. So for us, getting tested is the critical starting point, and we are encouraging every single individual, if you're sexually active, get tested, know your status, because once you know, then you can act on that knowledge. If you don't know, your behaviors will not change. You will continue to infect other individuals. And so we say, get to know your status, start treating yourself if you're positive, and then get to viral suppression. And at that point, you will not be able to transmit the virus. And in addition to that, it allows you to take a range of precautions that you perhaps would not have taken if you were not positive. So I think it's very important for people to know what their status is.
In medicine, we say a disease that is well diagnosed can be well treated. In other words, there are no signs, particular signs and symptoms, whether a person is HIV positive or not. The only way you can know if you're HIV positive is being tested. However, for those that have been tested and are positive, it is not a death sentence. We have treatments to bring down the viral load. There are people that are living healthier lives, even those that are not positive, because they are maintaining a lifestyle that is ideal to health, good health. So it's not a big deal. In other words, that it is important that you know that you have backing, and there are people that are there to support you and be with you all through the way. All right, so get tested, get informed about your health, and take your health as top priority, because it all depends on you, and we are here to really assist you to achieve good health.
Gentlemen, this has been an insightful conversation. I swear my face sometimes drops when I hear of certain statistics around the Caribbean.
We certainly have to continue this.
Yes, indeed. So thank you, Ivan, and thank you, Dr. Matthias, for coming in today and speaking to us on this touchy topic. And funny enough, I'm wearing red. I didn't even realize.
I know. And I hope we see you back before December 1st.
Definitely. We're working on something, definitely, to come back here to do, because we have to make people aware of what is going on.
Yes.
All right, so working on something.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, there you have it, folks. Stay with us. Much more when we return on Jim.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
Cheers.
An exotic experience.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, SKN. Wagwan. Yo, it's Ben's Lad coming to you live from Jamaica. You see it, go already. See me, I say Caribbean people stand up and I love this. This show is very important. You understand me? Yeah, man. Studio 327. Ben's Lad, it's a big up. See me, I say. I'm the whole innocent crew. Yeah, man. More love.
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Joining us for this segment of Youth Power are two members of the Clarence Fitzroy Bryant College Financial Gems. They won the intra-country investment competition and then went on to represent the Federation in the regional schools investment competition. Welcome Zara Prince and Nikita Clark to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, ladies, and welcome to Good Morning SKN.
Good morning.
Happy y'all could join us this morning.
Indeed. So why did you ladies decide to become part of the group that would participate in this competition? Anyone can start. So Nikita? All righty.
Well, I decided to enter the competition to gain the experience or knowledge about investment.
Okay, and Zara?
Honestly, I was just like, let's give it a shot. Let's give it a try. I was interested in investing a long time ago, but I didn't know where to start. So
Yeah, I have one follow-up for you ladies. Why invest and not save your money?
it's hard for me to save. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh.
I'm a spender.
Okay, Nikita, you have anything to add?
Same.
Wow. So with investment, you know the money's there, but you can't really touch it.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Awesome.
Okay.
So the name Financial Gems, who came up with that name?
Well,
wanna go?
Well, it was a group. We had a discussion. We was in the conference room in a discussion. We were just trying out ideas. Some names came across, but Financial Gems was the one who actually stand out.
Oh, that one stuck. Okay. All right. So we're missing a member this morning, but was it only 3 of you or was it more of you that were in the group?
It was actually 6 of us.
Oh.
So just give us an overview, a general walkthrough of what the competition was.
Okay. It comprised of a lot of fabricated material. They didn't actually give us $50,000 to manage. It was fake, but it's like the concept of trading with different companies, different areas, and they gave us like every day was like a little market news.
Okay.
They would give you information like, well, this company is doing well. They did this. They promoted this. They're going to branch out in this. And they would say, well, there's a stage 4 hurricane coming to this company. Don't invest there. It's like little signals of how to control your money. But other than that, it was a roller coaster. It was fun. It was educating. It was time consuming. And overall, I enjoyed it.
You said time consuming. Expound on that a bit for us.
Well, they had the rule that you have to submit by 5 p.m. every single day.
Each of you?
Well, no, it was one.
Oh, the group. Oh, the group. Okay.
But they have lives too, school included. So it kind of cut into our classes.
Wow.
But it wasn't that bad.
So what about the teachers that helped you on this? How were they when it came to that cutting in on your classes?
They had classes too, so it kind of...
Wow, so everybody...
It actually was a challenge for everyone.
Wow.
Some of the students were at ASPS, the main campus, and we down at TBM. So we just had to have a challenge to be on time, get everybody there group to actually work on it.
And who were the teachers that helped you ladies? So let us give them their flowers.
Clytie, Gilbert, and our dean, Mr. Abrams.
Oh, nice.
And ladies, after winning the competition locally, you went on and you went and represented St. Kitts and Nevis. Tell us what was the reaction like after you all won and went to represent the federation. What was the reaction like?
It was, I would say we actually did it here.
Okay.
It was the same procedure, but whereas the intro was only like investing and sending reports to the book and everything. Whereas the regional one, we did the same thing, but at the ending, actually a video. What was actually 30% of the.
Zara, anything to add?
No, that's about it.
So Warren Buffett, that's one of the financials guru that I look up to. He said the first rule is not to lose money, and the second rule is the first rule. So did you ladies follow the first rule? Did you keep your money or did you lose money in the process?
they didn't really state whether or not how much we lost. I'm kind of upset about that. We should have known how much we lost, but we just didn't come first. That's what we knew.
For the intra-country.
Yes.
Sorry. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
But other than that, I think we stuck to it. We tried our best.
Okay.
We invested based off of facts, factual reports, and the
Actually, look at all the pros and the cons.
Okay.
If it was beneficial to the company, why are we investing? That's the question we should have been asking.
Because you all were afforded the market index. Is that what it?
Market news.
Yeah. So that you knew what was beneficial.
going on.
Okay. So okay. All right.
So they would have known what to invest in.
What not to invest. But I would have loved for them to tell you, although the 50,000 was fake, if you lost money, because the goal of investing, not to lose money, and to get more. That's the whole point.
I agree.
So based on the experience, what have you learned from the Eastern Caribbean securities market?
Nikita, she's looking at you, so you take it away. Take it away.
Take it away.
Well, the Eastern Caribbean security market is the Eastern Caribbean security market is a regional financial market within the ECCU.
No, just take it easy. So what did you learn? You said you're not good at saving. So what did you learn about investing that you will continue to do on your own then? Okay, Zara, you want to take the question?
Okay, can you repeat the question?
Okay, so what did you learn while investing that you will use in your own life as you go on? Since you said you were bad at saving, right? And we know investing, the money stays there, it just turns over once we make the right investment. So what did you learn during that process, and what would you practice as you go forward in your life?
I learned that there are different percentages, different amounts of money per share that you can purchase, and it can fluctuate depending on what's going on in that area of the world and everything. Anything can happen. Today you could have it, and tomorrow you can't. So you have to be sure on what you're doing with your money and the risks that are there.
Okay. You agree?
Yes.
Anything to add?
No, I would just look at the pros and cons, and it's just risky, I should say.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff.
I like risks though.
Oh?
I like taking risks.
I like Zara. Girl, take your risk. Take your risk.
You're in the making.
Yeah, take your risk.
So, your interest in learning about investing. Do you all see yourself as entrepreneurs after the experience you all would have had?
Flashbomb, I actually am an upcoming entrepreneur.
Oh. Why did you choose that path though?
Why?
Yes.
Honestly, I feel like it's just in my genetics to be a leader.
Oh,
I like owning my own things. I like to be dominant. So I feel like controlling my own business would bring me pleasure, as well as, controlling my own money. I don't trust everybody. Spending my own money. But other than that, I feel like the leadership feeling, I like it. I really do.
I want to know, were you all chosen for the group, or did you all chose to be in the group?
The dean came to me.
Okay.
I was in a class. I was in an accounting class.
Okay.
And he came to me. He said, "Excuse me, let me get Missouri Prince real quick." I said, "Okay, what's going on? Am I in trouble?" And I stepped outside, and he said, because I spoke to him before regarding school. He came to me. He said, "I think you're the good one for this investment."
I hope Dean Abraham is watching.
He did. And I was like, really? You know what? Let me give it a shot. Why not? Why not?
I like that you
Yes.
jumped. And
I'm happy I did.
okay. Nikita?
I was chosen as well, and the first question I asked, does it have to do with accounts? Because I really don't like accounts. So the dean as well, he was like, I think so, part of it. I was like, okay, why not give it a shot? And I just went.
Good stuff. Awesome. Well, ladies, we're going to take a short break, and then we're going to be right back to continue this conversation with you. Viewers, stay tuned.
是陈琦，早安 SKN。
Yeah.
An exotic experience.
Yo, what up? It's your boy and Richie right here at Studio 327. I'm here to give you the promo that you guys need because this is something special for St. Kitts. I'm telling you, tune in to Good Morning SKN, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and on Moen Channel 4. Also, I realize nobody else is doing this. Follow the Good Morning SKN Instagram at Good Morning SKN and the Studio 327 Inc. Instagram. Follow us on YouTube and Facebook. This is pretty long, but follow us and yeah.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And Zara Prince and Nakida Clark, now joined by Andrew Abraham, Dean of the Division of Technical and Vocational Education and Management Studies.
Yeah.
Welcome back, folks.
And welcome, Mr. Abraham. Welcome back, Mr. Abraham.
Thank
Mr.
you
Abraham
very
is a
much.
staple here at Studio 327. He sure is.
So, Nakida, do you have any future plans when it comes down to investing?
I think so.
No? What about you?
Yes, I do.
Share it with us.
Have you guys ever heard of, what do they call that? Forex trading?
Yeah, Forex. I've heard of it.
I'm trying to get into that. I want to
Yeah,
see
I love it.
like what's it about. I want to learn how to trade, honestly.
So, Dean Abraham, let's bring you in here. Why did you specifically choose the young ladies that you chose for this challenge from the team events?
Thank you very much again for having me another time on Good Morning SKN. And of course, it's a pleasure to always represent CFBC. The students, we were approached by the central bank to participate in this intra-country competition. And what I did is I engaged the faculty, and the faculty is actually who identified some students across divisions between Art Science and General Studies, ASGS, and TVEMS, namely the business students.
Okay.
So I was tasked with identifying the students at TVEMS, and the lecturers who are more familiar with them than I do are the ones who suggested a list of persons. So as I see them, I ask them if they would be interested, and they are the ones who put up their hands.
Oh, nice. I like that. So, I was asking the young lady, Mr. Abraham, earlier, and I don't know what you do, if you save or if you invest. Which of the two do you think is better?
For me personally, investing is almost better because what you do is you have what we call cash flow or continuous source of funds coming in. I mean, you save your money, you might be attracting interest rates, but as a fundamental principle or your philosophy, you always invest simply because the opportunity to actually gain more is there. So again, from a personal standpoint, that's how I approach it. But again, based on philosophy and principles that guides finance, it's always wiser to invest than to just go saving because you have a difference in interest rates and so on.
So I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I have to follow up with this one. What if you invest and then the company crash? I know nothing in life is guaranteed. How does one, I don't know if you can answer that question directly, but how does one pick up the pieces, as Andre said?
Again, both saving and investment, they have their risk associated, and it's a personal decision. But then again, it's how much of a risk taker you are, and going into any form of investment, there are risk. I mean, even your savings accounts that may not be attracting high interest rates. Some of these financial institutions do go under. I mean, and some of the best in the business.
Yeah.
So you as an individual have to make a determination whether I go to invest, understanding the risk associated, and then you make a decision. So I wouldn't say it's a case whereby I choose to invest or not invest because company A, B may go down and then I would lose my investment. There are risks that are associated. You calculate the risk, and I think you proceed. Yes.
Okay.
Awesome. And Sarah, let me ask you, you would have gone through the whole exercise of the competition. For those persons who are watching the show and see you, both of you gone through the competition, what advice would you give to them who see and probably want to join? Would you encourage them to join?
Yes, I actually do. You guys go for it. It's not a bad shot. You have nothing to lose. It's fabricated money. And you get the experience to learn, to feel, how would I manage $25,000? I wouldn't have that experience if I didn't join the team, you know? So I say take the shot.
Do you think you're better able to handle a $25,000?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
man, I was hoping you would.
That's a good question, though. But honestly, if I have the mindset like it's not mine to spend, probably.
Okay.
But if it's mine to spend, I'm gonna spend it.
Zara, no man, Zara, no.
I'm gonna try not to.
Nikita?
I'll say go for it as well. You go for the experience and try it.
Okay. So you mentioned some challenges where you couldn't meet on time. It was both difficult. What are some of the highlights you ladies had amongst yourself and the group?
What are some of the high points while you were in the competition?
Okay.
A memorable moment.
Okay, well, you want to start? Okay. Well, I would say that when we first started, it was a bit tricky. We didn't know what was going on. We're like reading through everything, all of the folders. They had a folder there with all the information from the companies, history, percentages, capital shares, and all of that. I was like, what is this? You have to read every single thing out. You cannot miss a point. That one point could miss out everything.
Wow.
So you have to go back through everything and have to make sure, okay, this is this is that.
Wow.
And there was this time that we kind of messed up and we thought we blew it, but we didn't. We didn't.
Of course not. Yeah, do one.
Yes.
Okay.
I remember the very first day when we had to send off all the information to the broker. I was the one sending it. Something went bad on my laptop. I was like, oh man, I mean, we're going to miss out on the first day. We had to go to the broker, make sure everything was in order. Then we finally get to send it. And I was like, wow, I was at ease. And the second day was like, okay, then we did it the first day. Everything ran smooth, right down to the competition, right down to the ending.
Oh, pause. I just remembered something. When it was the regionals now, they removed the folder.
Oh,
the information. So we have to remember everything out of our head.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how did you ladies do with that? You were good?
It was like one or two of them that I screenshotted. So there was that. But
You're smart.
Other than that,
You're smart.
we had to go back through the information. And and there's like to the bottom, there's a quotation. You have to write, why did you pick this company to invest in? It has to be factual.
Yeah.
So if you're saying, we're choosing to invest in this company because they branched off in Chicago.
Oh, nice.
Then you go back through everything and then you put the pieces together yourself.
Oh, nice.
But yes.
Before we sending off report, we had to actually give valid reason as to why to invest in the company.
Nice.
That helped us win. If it didn't make sense, you wouldn't win.
Okay.
What I can also share about the competition is that the prize at stake was actually shares that would go directly to the winning school.
Mhm.
So we had something at stake.
Mhm.
And I think the experience was one that showed the students what is involved in investing in our region, to get a better understanding of the market, and actually how to come together as financial investors, to understand some of the factors that would contribute towards making certain investments. Given you have climatic conditions in our region, hurricanes and otherwise,
Mhm.
you have governmental intervention, and then you have cases where you have expansion, expanding to a market, especially island nations, where you may have one economy doing good, and you may have some challenges in another. Now, you may also have areas in a specific local economy that are doing well. So you look at the environment, and then you determine, how do we proceed? How much should we invest? How much should we hold back?
Okay.
So it gives them that understanding of, listen, we should go full investment, or
Mhm.
this company is doing good, so we think we are safe here. So let us invest more there. And I think some of that kind of like conversations and the decision to invest in a particular company. So that in itself, it's an education, and it's something I believe the students will take with them going forward, because
I like
it
that.
all helps build the confidence, knowledge base as it relates to our regional market, investing, and as it relates to the amount. And you spoke earlier about how do you decide on which company to invest in, understanding the risk. So
Mhm.
that again helps them to understand the risk associated with a particular investment.
Okay, before we go, though, Andre, let me ask one thing. Tell the central bank they need to expand it to all the other faculties, because I find you mentioned it was only for the business faculty, so that everybody needs to know to invest. You don't.
Well, technically, the central bank didn't stipulate that we use a particular division. It's a CFBC initiative.
Okay.
And then what we'll do, and it was the initial investment competition. So I think going forward, and the central bank has actually collected data as it relates to some best practices, what went well, what went wrong.
Okay.
So at least we would see in the next version of the investment competition, earlier information. College as a whole could probably reach out to the entire college community to be part of that.
Yes.
Also, we had high schools throughout the federation. So it's not just within CFBC or colleges.
Okay.
It is schools across the federation and across the region. So you'll find more persons will get the opportunity to do so. So I say mucho kudos to the East Caribbean Securities Exchange, and it's a really great initiative. Mrs. Yuloka Brown and her team at ECCB, thank you very much. And then we really appreciated the experience and look forward to the next sitting of
That's good. That's good.
Right there you have it, folks. The CFDC on full display with us on GMSKN this morning. Nakida and Zara, I want to thank you all for coming in this morning, sharing with us, of course, your wins. Yeah, that's
No monies though.
Sadly. Return on GMSKN.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you,
Thank
Dean.
you for having CFDC.
Oh man. Oh.
What will it take to grab the attention of someone with the power to make your dream come true? 7 hopeful entrepreneurs in search of the finances necessary to take their ideas to the next level.
This is their lives, right? This is their business.
4 savvy business owners ready to make a pragmatic investment.
You can't help people if you can't help yourself. First, you make the dollar and you give the dollar.
Why you take your business offline?
I really feel that you need to do a little bit more research.
Very knowledgeable. Super knowledgeable.
You have a great idea and a great concept. I think you'd be snapped up by Disney.
If you have a job someplace, it means that if something is not working, you can walk away.
Who will invest?
Let's do this. Let's do this.
Thank you. And who will be sent home with nothing? I am your host, Kevin Hope.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Cheers.
An exotic experience.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. And on the 7th of May, the St. Kitts and Nevis Robotics Association hosted its biennial elections for its executive body. SKNRA is a non-profit organization geared towards inspiring youth through STEM by developing the creative and problem-solving skills of youth on a regional and international scale. Joining us to speak about the recently held elections and the future plans of the association are Dr. Ricardo Lee, chairman of the association, and two newly elected directors, Ethan Sampan, program director, and Anthony Gitral, volunteer director. Gentlemen.
Our very own Anthony.
Welcome to GM.
Welcome.
Nice being here. Nice being here.
It's really nice to be here.
Welcome back, my dear.
So can you share with us the overview of the SKNRA and its role?
Yeah, I think whenever I'm asked a question, my mind leads me back to 2017. So 2017 is when we actually debuted in the United States, team only. And it was just 4 of us. So it's me, Jeremy Henry, Xavier Shaw, Gerald Lapsley. The very first person. Before that, we just had robotics as a potential research project, and we wanted to make it into something better. And so the opportunity came where we were invited to compete. And so we went to the United States. First day when the team got there and they saw the 200 countries all over the world, they panicked, right? Because coming from a small island representing the world, and then you are among these large countries, it could be daunting, and they were surprised. But after the first day would have passed, they moved to the second day, and they competed for the first time. St. Kitts and Nevis on the map. They had a large television showing the ranking, and they realized St. Kitts was third in the world. And I think once they saw that, their whole mantra changed. And then the momentum was developed, and they become focused. And that is when we decided that we must expose the other young people to something like this. And so leading from that time, we would have represented St. Kitts in Mexico, Dubai, Geneva, and yes, Singapore coming now. Singapore coming now. Yes, and in 2019, we decided we're going to form a robotics association where we want to have more of the young people get more exposure, and also to take the STEM field a bit more serious, not just to travel, but also to form an organization where they can have fun, they can explore and find their true potential, and that is why we're here now. So we were able to partner with H&A law firm, and we're able to form the association, put the executives in place, and then here we are now. Our objective surrounds a number of programs, actually. So we focus on after school robotics program, we focus on the international robotics events, we focus on the OECS program that we're actually working on, and that's something that we're excited about. So we're not just within St. Kitts, we're also operating within the OECS region.
Okay, good stuff. So we're going to move on to the new executives. So how long have each of you been a part of this association? Each member been a part of this association? I'll start with Hitton.
I've been part of this association from, I believe, March of 2020. Okay. So that's like 3 years already. Yeah.
All right. Mr. Jeetla?
Well, I don't remember the date, but like I'm thinking like 2018 when the idea came up. Yeah, when the first startup. I was there as a normal member.
Okay.
But then when I saw like all the elections coming up, I was like, oh, let me test the water and see what I could do.
So you tested the water and you were successful. And Dr. Neil, how long have you been a part of it?
Oh, I'm the founder, so I've been I've been there from
the inception.
Yeah, from inception.
Okay, good
from
stuff.
inception. Funnily, the program came out of our capstone project. We have a capstone project at the college where the students are required to do a research based on what is happening now in the world. So whether it is artificial intelligence, humanoid, robotics,
game dev,
and so it was within that program that the concept of stepping into robotics came out, and that was from 2016 actually, right, when that started. And it was started by students want to have something like that that's happening around the world.
Nice.
And speaking on being elected, what was the experience like during the election period?
As a matter of fact, it was it was actually a moment of on the edge of the seat, just watching the votes coming in and seeing the various groups. Some at one point, one is ahead, and then another point, one is below. We have close to 300 members in the association, so it's a very large association. And so we were watching the votes, and that was the exciting thing. I must say also that this is the second set of directors. The first set, their tenure would have come to an end. So our directors served for two years, and the executive director served. And so the first set of directors, their tenure would have come to an end, and then we have the new election. Some persons were actually appointed based on the position that they
So, what does being a part of the association means to each of you, and not just as members, but as directors and executive board?
Anthony?
Yeah, I can go first. Okay. So being part of the St. Kitts Nevis Robotics Association, it's really it's been a really fun experience. You know, seeing and working in an environment where it feels like a well-established organization. It feels cool that they've create these new projects that really help benefit a lot of people, and in the fields of science, technology, and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited to lead this position as program director.
Likewise. Okay, so I think it's great being a part of this organization. Is one thing I didn't like the late meetings, but I can't really do anything about that. But I can see why they're there. The voices need to be heard, and to be honest, just great strides for the federation. Yeah.
All right. So, Dr. Neil, it is fair to say that the organization is for youth, it is run by youth, and that was the original intention.
That is a perfect and a true statement, right? And a realistic statement. We do know of organizations that really promote that kind of thing, right? But in reality, that's not the case. But for us, it's youth run. We do provide training for sure, but they call the shots. We guide them, and we give them that kind of experience. We actually had a workshop where we went through going through the whole notion of explain to them what is the role of a director, what a director should do. So we have a number of that. So and we find that the organization runs on a more of a 20th century level when we have the youth. So they give their opinions, 21st century, right? When they give us their ideas, opinions, and it actually works. So I'm actually excited whenever we have meetings, because I'm hearing these new developments and new ideas in how can we do this, how can we do that. And for me, whenever the idea of bringing anything new on board, I'm like, okay, yes, let's go. So I'm very supportive of what they do. And funnily, most of them are coming out of the IT program at CFBC. Okay. So that is a plus, and I think it's a commendable thing to have. The Clarence Fitzgerald College have an IT program of applied science, and out of that program comes forth an organization. Nice. I think that's a great thing, not only for the college but for the entire federation and the overseas region.
Nice. I think this is doing great things. And the dressing, guys. I noticed you're all suited out, and Hitton, I don't see your pin, but is this the dress that you, how should I say, that you adapt at all times?
Yes, whenever we're going to any interviews, if you have any official events, yes, so that's the general trend.
I have a pin too.
Yeah, but I didn't see you with your pin today.
Yeah. No.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice.
So it's a trend that we've been doing because it's a holistic development. Okay. So the pin is a very unique pin.
Yes, so just
right. So it's unique. So surround St. Kitts and Nevis, you have the STEM logo, science, technology. So each image represent one of the letters. So yes, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So even though we are called a robotics association, we're hinged on the principle of STEAM.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, we in addition to the pin, back in a couple of years ago, during the pandemic, we actually had like a black mask with the logo on it. Yeah.
So they all had their mask.
Yeah.
So if you go back in the archives, you'll see.
Alrighty. So we're gonna take a short break, and we will return to continue this conversation.
Yo, this is your boy Smiley of the Grandmasters Band, and you're watching GMSKN. Hey, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, just make sure you're watching GMSKN. What up?
Yes, we are back indeed as we continue our conversation with Dr. Ricardo Neal, Hitton
Sam Tani.
and Anthony Ejidla. Thank you, Hitton. So, Mr. Neal, what are some of the programs in development? And I heard a little shoo-shoo while you were talking about Singapore. So
Okay, so we have a lot. Hitton is the program director, but I will attempt to. So if I fall off, then he will help me along the way. So we have immediately coming up. We're working currently with ECCB to have a summer program. So working closely with that. So soon and very soon you'll hear that announcement coming up. We are scheduled, well, the robotics team, and I want to explain it so we understand. So the Robotics Association is in charge of a set of programs.
Okay.
And so one of the programs would be the international team that actually travels.
Yeah.
So that team is scheduled to travel to Singapore the first week in October. I think it's around the 3rd.
Oh, nice.
6th. The 6th? Okay.
I believe.
Okay. All right. So around that time. We have not selected the team as yet. So we're just ensuring that the public know what's actually happening. So that's a major program that is coming on the street. We are currently forming the OECS Robotics Association. So we have members from some of the OECS countries already. And so again, we're going to provide more information on that. So we're working very closely with some of the countries like St. Lucia, Montserrat, to see if we can get this association. Now, that is a very important project because we want to extend our wings, all right? Because when we speak to a number of the region, we realize that what we have here is a unique development that we have here, and not only the OASIS in the Caribbean region. And I would go as far as saying that we're one of the most organized, legally registered entity that operates like this within the Caribbean region. And so we have a very big role and responsibility within the region. So those are some of the immediate programs that we have coming. I looked on Hitton and I remember one. We have next week, the 31st of May, we'll be having our capstone project at the Marriott's, right? At the Marriott's, and that's going to be at 8:30. That event is where we invite a number of private sector entities to come and see the presentation of the IT students from the technical division, right? Those hardworking, smart students who are working on projects and research, right? So the capstone, our position on capstone is not just to write a research paper. Yes, you write the research paper, then what? That's the question. So for us, that then what would be to develop the product. So if you're writing a research paper on how to create arms for persons who have lost an arm or lost leg, amputees, then you have prosthetics. Then you have to get the 3D printer, do the research, create it, and support it with the paper. So we have that event. So we are inviting all the private sector companies, hope they have space, for everyone, to come out and see the students on the 31st of May, 8:30. Program is from 8:30 to 12.
Okay, 8:30 a.m.
a.m. Yes.
Okay, good stuff. Anything else I had to hit on, or that's all?
Other programs.
We would have the other programs would include the robotics after school program. We would have the St. Kitts National Robotics Competition, OECS Robotics Competition, and we're working on the CARICOM one too.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So we have those, and as well as the capstone, the competency-based capstone project symposium. Yeah.
And for those persons who are watching and want to be a part of the St. Kitts Nevis Robotic Association, how can they get in touch with you?
So we are heavily on social media. So we're on Facebook, Instagram, yes. And so once you send a message out, we will, have a word with the individual and get them in the association. Now, our new director is Mr. Brandon Powell, our new executive director, and he has come on the scene with all guns blazing, as they say, right? And so he is organizing to actually ensure that we have our website running, to get persons apply through the website. But for now, to get to us, just simply go on any one of those platforms, type in SKNRA and send a message, and somebody will actually respond.
Jitlal, I'll give you the last word, kind sir. For persons that want to pursue STEAM but they are hesitant, what would you tell them before we go?
You asked the wrong person because I'm one of the, I'm the kind of person that would be hesitant, but like, just go for it. If you know you could like contribute something and you know you have talent for this kind of stuff, just jump into it, test the waters. If you don't like it, then you don't like it, but majority of people will like it and they will find something that they could be a part of.
See, I asked the right person the question. All right.
Well, there you have it, folks. I want to thank the St. Kitts Nevis Robotic Association for coming in with us and speaking with us this morning. Fascinating show this morning.
Indeed.
And I hope you all learned a lot. Yeah. Well, this is where we say so long, farewell to you, my friends. Goodbye for now. Until we meet again. Thank you for joining us today, folks. Tune in daily where you'll find a little bit of everything for everyone. Get your friends and families to watch. Remember to follow us on our social media platforms, including Facebook and YouTube at Studio327 Inc. and Instagram at Good Morning SKN. Remember to like, yes, please like, subscribe, follow, and share. Also, check out our website at studio327inc.com to learn more about GMSKN and Studio 327.
And as I would always say, thank you so much for watching. As Andre said, continue to subscribe. Please like, share with your friends and family, and leave us a comment about today's show. Let us know what was your favorite part. And this is where we say, see you tomorrow, hump day, God swear, when you wake up bright and early and start your morning at 8 a.m. with us right here at Good Morning SKN. Thank you for watching. Have yourself a great day. And remember, you either lead or follow. And if you can't do either of the two, get out of the way. Have a great day. Bye.